You're listening to Find the Good News, Episode 52, The Hot Sauce Map, featuring Jelly Reynolds and Charlie Frye. Find the Good News is produced by Parker Brand Creative Services, a branding agency that thinks sideways, pushes forward, and gets your brand up. See what else we do at parkerbrandup.com. Thanks for making Find the Good News a part of your listening lineup. I've got a fun episode today with Jelly Reynolds and Charlie Frye, the creative minds behind Jammin Jelly's hot sauce. If you don't know about it, you soon will. In fact, it just might be your favorite food truck in the near future. In coming weeks, I'll be launching episodes with Abby Dixon, Brini Dowies, Kelly Stowecki, and a little solo episode that I'll be calling Find the Good News Journal. It's a bit of an experiment, so I'll be curious to hear how you all feel about it. As you know, we'll soon be launching Find the Good News live. We've been running some soft launch tests each week, so keep your eyes tuned to my social media feeds for these links and updates. The live shows should be a lot of fun, and I plan to keep them current and timely. More to come on that. I don't want to keep you tied up this week with announcements. Just thinking about this episode has me hungry for good news, so let's get buckled up in our comfy chairs, zero in on the good, shut the bad down just for a little while, and press play on a little good news. When you find out an old friend has started a hot sauce brand called Jammin Jelly's Hot Sauce, and you happen to like hot sauce, and you have a podcast, then you know what you're supposed to do next. I hadn't seen Jelly Reynolds since we had worked together at Katie's Diner almost 23 years ago, so I invited mad food scientist Jelly Reynolds and his business partner Charlie Frye to come sit in the hot seats on Find the Good News. Jelly and Charlie have the honor of being a part of the very first cuisine-focused episode of this show, and our conversation does not disappoint. It's an origin story, which I love, with all the savory details that make the taste buds in your mind hungry for more. It seems Jelly and Charlie's line of comfort sauces are moving on a steep incline with the right amount of heat for a solid launch. What you get to be a part of in this episode are the stories behind the clever names, unique colors and ingredients, plus the curious and mouth-watering flavor profiles that are putting Jammin Jelly's hot sauce on the tingling tips of Southwest Louisiana tongues. These sauces are born right here in Southwest Louisiana, and they're raising the stakes even further by using them in their signature Louisiana comfort foods that they'll soon be serving from the Jammin Jelly's hot sauce food truck. I don't want to overcook the intro. I have to leave you something to listen to, so I'll keep a little simmering on the side. Know this, Jelly and Charlie are cooking up good things, and I hope you've saved room for more.
Wake up, it's morning, you're dreaming up a story. I can hear the way it's going, 'cause you're laughing in your sleep, on the path to your deliverance, and a holy wall of light pouring through your window.
Old news, bad news, fake news. Sometimes you just want to shut it all down and get no news at all. With Find the Good News, I aim to change that by focusing on good people doing good work. I visit with artists, educators, civic and spiritual leaders, musicians, business owners, students, volunteers, and everyday citizens who are using their creativity, resources, and talents to bring hope and happiness to their corner of the world. In each episode, I dig into the hearts and minds of my extraordinary guests. We have street-level conversations about relatable things going on in their lives, discover the critical life experiences that shape them, the perspectives that drive them, and the fundamental beliefs that are anchoring them to a path of goodness. There's a lot of news in the world. My name is Oran Parker, and I'm going to find the good.
And I love you just as well.
What is good news? I mean, people who are making people happy, people who are opening businesses, people who are, trying new things, taking new adventures. And so the category, the umbrella of that was really wide. And so we started out really talking to like educators and sort of activists and volunteers and community service stuff. But then it's just kind of blossomed into all these different categories like art and music. And so I'm always looking for new people to talk to. And I went online and I started seeing the hot sauce.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's cool, because I was just curious what you were up to. I was looking you up, and I kind of doing a little bit of stalking, and I was like, oh man, he's got something going on. And then it just seemed like it was ramping up, and then y'all announced the food truck, and I said, man, I want to talk to him about this, because it's very unique. I mean, the packaging, the names of the dishes and all of that. It's just like y'all are having a lot of fun with it, and I love that, man, because so many people start things and they copy what somebody else is doing, right?
Yeah.
They go, oh, well, that community did this, so I'm going to kind of mimic that over here, and they don't really do their own thing. But like all y'all's stuff is just really, really cool.
It's just a collaboration of the two of us coming together, and we wanted to cook things that we enjoyed eating, and then when it came to the seriousness of getting a food truck, then we had to think, okay, well, how are we going to set ourselves apart from the rest of the food trucks that are out there?
Right.
So, we came across the mac and cheese with the brisket and making a wrap out of it, and next thing you know, we got over 12,000. We reached over 12,000 people with it. And
really?
It blew up big time, and we're like, calm down, people. It's not a thing yet.
Right. They're like, where can I get this at?
We had people that are like coming into town, and they're like going to get it, and where can we get it? And we're like, wait a minute, we're not selling it yet.
So was that before y'all had the food truck idea? Was that like y'all were just experimenting?
No,
was that like, okay, y'all already were on the path?
Well, we looked at the food truck when we had our investor come forward. We were thinking, okay, well, if we sit there and try to sell our hot sauce on social media, via social media and the website, and trying to push it out to people that have never tried the sauce before, it's really, we can explain the flavors, and like you said, it's a comfort sauce. So it's easy to talk about it, but if you've never tried a cucumber hot sauce, you're not really wanting to jump into that. So we were like, as a catalyst for the hot sauce company, what we can do to, because if someone invests $50,000, you're sitting at your computer trying to push this product, and it's gonna go, but it's gonna go slow. So how can we expedite the product that we have? So we came up with the food truck.
So it's a dual purpose thing, right? I mean, you got to put it in people's mouths.
It just seemed like a natural progression, that was, it was like a no-brainer. And there's, you get a lot of people that it's like, hey, where am I at?
No, I'm gonna get you right there.
There you go, like right there you go. Right in the zone.
There you go. Right.
Oh yeah.
But they always get that one guy, like, that tries to push somebody. Oh man, you cook good and you need to have a restaurant, but they don't know they don't know like the overhead of what you're gonna have to you got food costs, you got to pay your staff, you got to dump your waste and stuff like that, and and it really kind of sours the business. But I'm kind of used to that. As you can see, I just got off of work. I gotta go back in.
I was like, he's ready, like, visually. If I had a camera here, you can see what he's wearing.
And plus, it's just, and I've been playing music for 30 years in a band called Choke, and I like food and music kind of go hand in hand, and it's just kind of like two passion things that for me. So whenever he asked me, he actually started making a hot sauce for our band, and then I just kind of like jumped along the way and just, hey, okay, let's make this sauce. And then our record label, we ended up making a hot sauce for them, and then just we started coming up with these really insane hot sauces that was like, you could Google it, and the only name's going to come up is us,
Yeah, that's interesting. So I'm gonna jump all over the place here because I got a lot of questions, because we work in branding, and so I'm always trying to think, like, how does something start, like the origin. So that's interesting about, you made a sauce for the band. So do y'all come up with, because the names are clever, do you ever have one where you go, this would be a cool name for something, and now let's go make the recipe to match the name? Does that ever happen?
No. Usually we come up with a sauce sauce, and I mean, not to say that it won't, but okay, for instance, if I graduated from McNeese as a graphic designer, so I do a lot of our graphics and stuff like that.
You do that yourself?
Well, we also work with Anthony in Lafayette.
Okay.
Shirtworks out of Baton Rouge.
Okay.
No, Lafayette. Yeah.
No, he's in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
He's a guy that I've known since the '90s, early '90s.
But I made a logo for Brennan Allen, which is fighting tonight on.
He's an MMA fighter.
Yeah, he's on Dana White's Contender Series, and I made a logo for him, and I told him, I was like, hey man, if you win this Contender Series, I'm gonna make a sauce. I'm gonna call it, because it's Brandon All In Allen.
Yeah.
So I told him, I said, we're gonna call it the new All In sauce.
Yeah, the New Orleans sauce. I like that. Yeah,
the New Orleans sauce. So we haven't really came up. So going back to what you were saying, I guess so. It happens,
Yeah.
But I like to get the community involved with, like, for instance, the Sriracha Ranch. I made a habanero ranch, and we couldn't come up with a witty name. I was like, what do you call a Sriracha Ranch, and turn it Kunas, and so I put it out there, and I think it was Tara Scarborough that came back, and she said Sriracha, Cher, Acha, and Sriracha,
Cool.
and I was like, that's perfect, that it gets the point across. You can read it, know what's in it without it saying it, and then all the other names are just things that, like, my friends got married, and they renewed their vows after 10 years, and so they had a big party, and they wanted me to make a sauce for them, so I came up with the lemon blueberry, and they live out in Le Blueberry, in Le Blue, so
cool, man.
I called it Lemon Le Blue, and it works,
it works.
And what I wanted with that is, when people come in to buy the sauce from out of state, or some hometowners come in and they want to bring something back to California, Nebraska, Minnesota, wherever, they want something that speaks Louisiana, and we're a certified Cajun product.
Yeah,
we like to make our product, get all of our products from as much local as we possibly can.
Yeah,
and then put the names to it, and I lost my.
No, I get it. So you want to give it, you want to infuse that local.
So you want someone to bring a product back home to their family that speaks Louisiana.
Right.
So
it's not just some generic brand. It's like, oh, this is from like where I live, like really hyper local.
Right. Yeah, and then the whatever produce that we use, we like to we like to get it local and kind of build their
Are y'all doing that? Like farming everything out local?
Well, yeah, and there's a how everybody has their seasons now, but they have what is it, Red Barn?
Yeah, Red Barn.
Some guys. We use their product, and they're right here in our backyard. So I mean, that's just it's I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine type of relationship. And then we might even do some stuff with was it Bluefin vodka?
Yeah.
Is it Yellowfin?
Yeah, Yellowfin.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just got word of that.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So it'd be like a pairing, like something that like goes well with that.
Right.
Yeah. It's actually really cool.
We actually make our own Bloody Mary sauce. It's
really?
Yeah, it's Laveau's Blood Mix, and
that's cool.
it's got the olives, the okra, the green beans, all blended in. So it's just you can either make a red beer or Virgin Mary, or just add vodka to it, and it's ready to go.
So I mean, man, this show has sort of become about the origins of things, and I love hearing those stories. I mean, I know you didn't just wake up one day and go, I'm gonna start cooking.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all were always connected, or did it, like, what's the story of y'all's coming together, and like when did the interest in cooking and food just really begin for you guys?
We've known each other since about 95.
Oh wow!
And just we haven't seen each other for like 20 years, and then he just
really?
And he just kind of like popped up back on the scene, and then we started, and he made a hot sauce for our band, and then we had this. We had a barbecue, so to fund our tour in Japan, and then he made a barbecue sauce for the event, and then that really kind of took off, and then through that, we were just like, we started hanging out all the time, cooking, and he was like, man, come on, you help me out with this, and I'm like, all right, I'm totally cool with that. I got a lot of friends that were in the music business that actually transitioned from music to actually making peppers. My friend Troy Primo, he's the cultivar for the 7-pot Primo, and which is the 4th hottest pepper in the world. He's right outside of Lafayette. Yeah. So I mean, we're in the same house, the same business. That really kind of makes our relationship cool, because we were big music heads whenever we were back in the 90s, and obviously we love we love food too. So I mean, come on, we're in Louisiana. That kind of speaks for itself.
And so I knew you back when we worked at KD's together. Yeah, I mean, I did a long time ago, when not like that, 95, 96, and so I guess I didn't know you well enough to know that you were even into food like that, man. We were just waiting tables and flipping coffee, all night long. It wasn't like we knew a whole lot about each other.
Well, I've been raised myself since I was 15. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've been, and then I've worked in the food industry, and, I learned to cook young, and it's not like a passion. I love to do it, but I like to do it for self-gratitude.
Once you start doing it for yourself, it really kind of changes the perspective of everything. Everybody likes to have a job that they love to do. I steered away from being a cook because of the fact that I worked the front of the house, the back of the house, and there was a difference between the two of them, because you would be in the back of the house and they're like, I need this, and I'm like, you need that because you make more money. I'm busting my butt and I'm making the same amount. Well, working on the other side, I kind of understood that perspective. You need your food, but you have to give respect to the cook, and I didn't like that
dynamic.
It was like, don't tell me what I need to do. If you want your steak now, I can give you your steak now, but it's not going to be the way you ask for it. Right. So here's a warm cup, shut the hell up, and let's move on. But I basically woke up one morning and I had grown some habaneros and jalapenos in my backyard. And I was like, I had buku habaneros and jalapenos, and I didn't know what to do with them. So being someone that knows how to cook, I was like, I'm gonna make a sauce. And so I looked up hot sauces. I didn't see a pear hot sauce, so I made a pear hot sauce with the habanero and jalapeno, which is it's the least selling product that we have now.
The pear habanero.
It's a great sauce. I love it. We both love it.
It just isn't the one people gravitate towards.
Yeah, but it put Jammin Jelly's hot sauce on the map, and and
that's something, man.
And so I basically made it, and some friends tasted it. I cooked with it. I made some hot wings with it, and went to get a hot wing, and there wasn't any wings left, because everybody demolished them, and so they asked for some sauce. So I was like, all right, well, I got a little bit of hot sauce, so I gave it to them, and they came back, and they just kept coming back, and I was like, look, all right, now you're gonna pay for it. I've given you enough, and they're like, I'll pay for it. Can I get a gallon? I was like,
oh wow,
okay, now that's just a bit extreme, but they're like, no, can I get a gallon?
Now, were you bottling it for them in little bottles, or were you? How was this going? Was like you saving old hot sauce bottles?
So I came back about 11 years ago, back to Katy, back to Louisiana, and of course I'm still good friends with the Katie's family, and they called me up and they said, hey, we need you to train somebody. Can you come in? And I was like, I guess, So I went in there, and then I realized, I was like, oh my God, there's so many little Tabasco bottles that. I started getting the Tabasco bottles, the empty ones, and cleaning them out, sterilizing them, bringing them home, filling them up. Well, once it became a business, they got macaroni on the bottom of the bottle. So I was like, okay, I got to start doing this all legit. Once I became an LLC, I realized that there were certain things that you can't do because there's lawsuits, and even, what is it, Frank?
It's Red Hot. Or
No. Frank he's a photographer out of New Orleans. Anyway, I used one of his pictures, and I put Jammin Jelly's hot sauce, and he contacted me personally, and he was like, "Hey, I don't mind you using that. Just
you got to
pay for it." And I was like, he was like, "Can you please take it off your website?" And I was like,
"Yes, I can do."
Wow, I'm talking to Frank himself. This is awesome. I'm really sorry, Frank, but So anyway. But I learned my lesson, and just moved on, and
and I'm happy, I know it.
If you're like me, then you've got a long wish list of things you need to do around your house, things you just can't get to. It's not that I don't want to do them, but between my responsibilities at work, producing this show, and squeezing in some valuable mental downtime, I can't seem to get around to fixing the small stuff, and the big stuff is just waiting in line. To be honest, it kind of stresses me out. Maybe you're stressing out too. Well, stress no more, because I've got good news. My friend Ben Von Duke has started a handyman service, and he takes the mystery out of getting these things done. Ben Von Duke is not just some guy that calls himself handy. He knows what he's doing, and he knows a whole lot. Not only is he an experienced and professional carpenter, but he's kind of a Duke of all trades. What I love is that he's created an a la carte price list of services, so you don't have to worry about getting in your pockets too deep before you're ready. He'll fix your running toilet, install appliances, replace fixtures, install ceiling fans, repair sheetrock and concrete, and a whole lot more than that. Look, I'm not too proud to say this, but sometimes it takes me 3 times as long to fix something because I've got to get online and search videos just to figure out what tools I need. Then I have to go buy the tools that I don't have, and then sort of come home and do the job. I don't have to do that anymore because Ben Von Duke will do it and do it better. On top of all that, he's just a good person, someone you can trust. He's honest, he's kind, and those are things that I value highly, and I bet you do too. You can get a hold of Ben Von Duke, the Duke of all trades, the good old-fashioned way, by using the phone. Call or text Ben at 337-540-1355. That's 337-540-1355. He'll send you his service and price list, and trust me, his prices are more than fair. And do me a favor, when you do message Ben at 337-540-1355, tell him you heard about the Duke of all trades on Find the Good News.
I make my sauce. We make our sauce with a beet of beer. We put a beet of beer in.
Just about every single one of them.
It's one of the.
Is that something y'all promote as a part of it? Is a beta involved in that?
Well, we actually had 2 interviews with them. We had one with the marketing director, and then we had a call back for the branding manager, and we're pursuing that to work with them because they only have a mustard out there that's made with their beer. And they sell that, and so we ended up getting into Crying Eagle. Kind of got a little upset that we were using Abita and not their beer.
Oh, really?
I was like, well, Abita's been established since '86. They distribute
it's still
all over.
Louisiana beer.
They're not going anywhere. And like they were new at the time.
Right.
They're still fairly new. And I don't know if they're going to be around in 40 years. And my goals are to be around in 100 years.
Yeah, you want to have a stable recipe that you know you can get the product.
Yeah, and I don't want to have to change the recipe in 12 years. because they shut down. But
yeah,
okay,
there it is.
Hey, let that play a little bit. I want to listen to it.
That's perfect time.
It happens.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. It's not the first nor the last time that's going to happen.
I will turn that
That was a
down.
good ringtone, though.
I know. I was started jamming out to it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So anyway, we're basically we're more than ready to make Crying Eagle. We're more than ready to make Crying Eagle their own hot sauce. We're actually working with Jay from Panorama and Rick and Jack's.
That's cool.
We're
to use one of their or a proprietary sauce for their.
We've already made a couple prototype
That's cool,
hot
man.
sauces for them, and get on board with them.
That's exciting, man.
But-
So, are they involved in that process when that happens? Do they come in and go, "Hey, here's some things I like"?
I got with Jay and we kind of came up with a hard head heat. They got a hard head beer, so use their hard, their
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's cool. Cool
I mean,
name.
we got a, I guess. That's part of the company that we got is private labeling. So I mean, we do like stuff for bands, we do stuff for restaurants, and that's kind of taken off right now. But but the Rick and Jackson, they already have Panorama already has their Panorama pepper sauce. So we kind of missed out on that deal. But
Panorama has that already?
Yeah,
I didn't know
yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah, but
Was that something they had produced?
Yeah, I mean, because they just so happened to pop up and already had that in mind, and so, but and it's good stuff. They got good food over there.
Yeah.
So y'all could potentially do like a particular one sauce that's potentially like for the Crying Eagle brand.
Right.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
yeah. Well, we just take the Abita out of it, and we use Crying Eagle instead,
And just call it something.
Yeah, and as long as we
love to do that. I mean, that's
we usually go with we'll go talk to them and get a flavor profile, and
what they're
find
looking
out
for.
what they look for, and just like the Graveside Blood Sauce is a dark cherry hot sauce that we make for a band out of the Pine Box Boys out of San Francisco.
Okay.
They have they get together. The band puts Graveside Quartet together, and they're kind of rockabilly, dark rockabilly music, and so if you listen to their music, it's pretty dark. So I came up with the name Graveside Blood Sauce, because it's kind of gory,
but it fits with the theme of like
and it's one of our top sellers, and so right now we're making Graveside blood sauce for Graveside Quartet. We make Choke hot sauce, Choke Q barbecue sauce, and we make Sun Azul.
I saw you post that.
The Sun Azul is coffee, bourbon, and steamed syrup with
Whiskey. No way.
Cocoa, coffee, cocoa, bourbon with steamed syrup, and we make it for Salt of the Earth Record in Connecticut. His grandma used to make some chocolate sauce, so again, we got a profile to go off of, and me and Charlie sat down and we thought about, okay, what goes with chocolate? So we said coffee, and what goes with coffee and chocolate? And we're like, there was a bottle of bourbon there, so we're like, bourbon, so we went with it.
It was like an I Spy, type thing. Looking around the room, it was like, we could use that.
And then we open up the cabinet, and lo and behold, there's steamed syrup, and we're like, Louisiana, it.
Oh yeah, dude.
So so we made it, and that was a good one. Because
we were high-fiving each other all night.
Oh, really? It was like, oh, this
really good.
We made it, and it wasn't. We didn't have to go back and refine it.
No, it was perfect.
It was a done deal, out of the gate.
How exciting does that feel, man? When you just nail it and you're like, "This is it right here," and you just know it. I mean, it sounds like a lab almost, like you just like mad scientist.
Well, there is a method to our madness. We deal with people that are like, "Oh, I don't do hot sauce. It gives me heartburn." Well, we use ginger and we use turmeric. Ginger counteracts heartburn. Turmeric has medicinal purposes. It's nothing that's going to make you test positive on a random test or anything, but we do use, we had a medicinal purpose to it, a collaboration of, we have our own spice blend, so
Hot sauce is super popular right now too, man. I mean,
It's like craft beer.
Oh, dude, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a big secret anymore. When I first started watching the show, I'd never seen it before, and then I kind of went down the rabbit hole. But I started watching Hot Ones a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, the hot sauce world is blown up. I mean, so many hot sauces, and it got me interested in it. And I was just looking around. I thought, it's just like you said, it's like craft beer. You got these little micro brew, I don't know what you call them, little companies like y'all's that are popping up going, hey, what can we make? And some of them are really good, man, but it's, I mean, expensive too. I mean, charge a premium for
they had somebody on TV last night that had a bottle of hot sauce for $25. It was a 5-ounce bottle, and I was just like, oh my god, dude, like, who does that? But you know, I can understand. We actually, being associated with MMA fighters. I've talked to quite a few professional MMA fighters. Dustin Poirier, he's in the UFC. And some friends came forward. They do CBD oil, and a lot of the MMA fighters are taking CBD to heal their muscles faster.
Yeah.
So I talked to Dustin. I was like, "Hey, it's just an idea, but since I was talking to him personally on a friendship level, I told him, I said, we could potentially make you hot sauce because he's from Louisiana. He's from Lafayette.
Yeah, it's funny, man. I got to tell you something in a second.
So, of course, that's phase 3 kind of deal, in our projections as far as doing that, but it would be something like you said. It's a growing thing,
for sure.
Hot sauce is going everywhere. A lot of bands, are making their own hot sauce.
And y'all really tapped into that. It seems like.
Well, we actually got a hold of a really good record label that Scott Harrington for Salt of the Earth Records. He's good friends with Charlie, so we kind of got that a connection, and he's pushing us onto other record labels, bands that they want us to make their own hot sauce.
That's so interesting. It's like y'all have 3 different types of, I mean, you got 3 different things going on. You got your personal sauces, it seems like, which are the ones that y'all are just making for, you go, hey, here's the idea for the sauce and we're gonna make it. Then you got this avenue where you're connecting in the music industry and making these special sauces, and now you got the food truck. That's a lot.
It's kind of hard to
I mean, that's a lot to get your arms around, man.
And then Abita Beer, when I went to talk to them, they were like, oh, well, we're good friends with the Zaps family, and I was like, oh my god, a whole Zaps flavor, jam and jelly, Zaps,
chips, like your bag of your flavor.
You got
chips.
your dark cherry, you got your cucumber, you got
that's wild.
I could see that happening. That would be great.
Our friend Troy Primo, the one that did the Primo pepper, he just got a deal with Popeyes.
Yeah, and, really.
Yeah, and
a franchise out of Pennsylvania.
No. Popeyes fried chicken.
So
but
it would be for the whole, like, is it going to be like his pepper going to be in like their like a recipe?
It's like seasoned, chicken tenders with that. But it's in only select markets. It's in test markets right now. And which is funny because you would think Louisiana would be one of the test markets, but no, it's not around here. So hopefully. One day.
Louisiana seems like it's that way though. Like things are sort of like they can come out of Louisiana, but then they want to make sure they hit other markets. I mean, you go somewhere else and try the food, man. I mean, it ain't always so good. I mean, if you travel and you realize what you're missing back home.
Oh yeah, people from Louisiana are definitely really they're particular about their food.
Yeah.
Well, that's the beauty about this hot sauce that we do. We put so much seasoning and flavor, but we wanted flavor in the front, heat in the back, with a little bit of sweetness. And I was working at the plants, and a lot of the guys I work with, they go to the vending machine and they get the frozen burger out of there, and it tastes, crap lousy. And what they do is they put this hot sauce on there, and next thing you know, they're like passing this crap lousy burger around so people can taste how good it was once you put the sauce on it. And I was like, it's
Well, so that I'm just fascinated. Like, was there a point where you went? I mean, I know people were asking you, "Hey, I want to get some of these bottles of sauce," but was there like a point where you were like, where it was like, okay, I'm doing this like this, or was it just gradual?
It graduated from the fact that I just had so many friends that were coming forward and asking for more of the sauce, and I was really proud that I made it, and it
was that one particular sauce that
and then I was like, I want to branch out, and so I made the peach and the mango, and then I was like, I got to get away from the fruit. I want to make one that's not a fruit, so I went with the cucumber and red bell pepper. Well, lo and behold, a couple of my hippie friends told me, they were like, hey, that's fruit. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, you're right. You are right. And so then I started thinking about it, and I was like, I need something that's going to be able to go into a gumbo or an etouffee.
Like a good baseline.
A savory. Something that's savory. And, the first thing that popped in my head was the Cajun Trinity, the onions, bell peppers, and celery.
Oh, yeah,
with,
right on.
Habaneros and jalapenos. And I had my spice blend down to a science, and I got that and incorporated it into the Cajun Trinity, and that's where we came up with Cajun Breeze. And that
sounds good, actually.
It's actually our base sauce for a lot of our other sauces that we use. That way we protect ourselves. If you want to branch out and you want to go, let's just say, for instance, if Sun Azul decides to go their own route, and make their own coffee, cocoa, and bourbon with steamed syrup, well, it takes Cajun Breeze to make that. So
right.
It's like catch-22, you
got to go figure out this sauce before you can get to this sauce. I like that.
Well, it's I don't know how much I like it, because I kind of feel a little bad about it, but you got to protect yourself,
That's right.
And there are people out there that they
try to crack the code.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, there are people. I mean, I've watched the shows. I don't know as much about it, obviously, as you guys do, but I mean, just a little bit of just watching shows about that. They have these labs where they break it down. I mean, like to what was in something.
Well, that's our next step. Is we're gonna get you the Chokyu barbecue sauce, because it turned into a major hit and we sold out every time, and that was just a spur of the moment. I was just making it for their little fundraiser, and next thing you know, like, they blew my phone up saying I need a case of it, and then it won first place in a cook-off before it was even a product. So that's how we made it a product.
Do y'all put that on the packaging, like that you've won like certain are there like hot sauce competitions that are at different, like those kinds of tiers where you can put a medal on your packaging?
Well, we got to make a resume eventually, and that's going to be, once you read about the company and what we've done and where we went and what country we've sent our hot sauce to, because we've already been all around the world so far.
So how long has this been going on?
Me and Charlie have been doing it for about 2 years now.
And
together.
That is fast to be making this much activity.
Yeah, it's getting the food truck and getting everything, all the permits and whatnot put together. It's been a mission,
that part of it's probably not the fun part either. I mean, that's the logistics, right?
It's the nature of the beast, though.
Yeah,
you got to go through that.
Goes with the game,
Y'all gonna have employees that are gonna be running this truck, or you guys gonna do this first?
Well, we're gonna have to. I mean, if I get sick, with like the flu or something, he can't. Yeah, of course we're gonna have a crew.
Yeah. What's really tough about that is, we have so many, Charlie with Choke has so many fan base people that, oh, well, come do it for free. What are y'all doing today?
Right.
Can I come watch? And I'll work your food truck, and we're like, we have people in mind. We work with we work with some really good chefs and good. Like as far as peppers go, we're working with Troy Primo and trying to, incorporate his, because he's got winning peppers and he's got things that, we can use to make our quality better.
And I'm happy, I know it, I'm helped.
Look, as much as I enjoy talking on Find the Good News about making a change, I'd be less than honest if I didn't admit that change is hard sometimes. I should get more quiet time. I should exercise more, walk more, sleep more. And the one thing that I know I should do, without a doubt, is eat better, healthier, and fresher. But there's a wide berth between knowing something and actually doing something about it. I love to cook, but just like those other should-dos, I don't always make the time. This is where I have to tell you about Fresh Fuel, because it takes procrastination out of my way. Fresh Fuel is a fresh take on getting healthy, wholesome, and satisfying foods in your life as a kickstarter to critical change that lasts. When you sign up for a Fresh Fuel program at thefreshfuel.com, you'll find tiers for your specific level of can't get up and go. I know I found mine. My friend and founder of Fresh Fuel, Megan Abraham, wants to do one thing and one thing only. She wants you and your family to eat healthier, delicious, home-cooked meals. That's it. With Fresh Fuel, Megan has taken all of the I can't do it out of putting better meals in front of the people you care about. And she's quick to remind that one of those people should include you. Go to thefreshfuel.com and choose the program that's right for you. Megan provides you with the recipes, supply lists, links, videos, goals, and very important here, access to the Fresh Fuel Facebook group, where you can connect with other Fresh Fuelers, real people just like you and me, making the same journey. What I love most about meal prepping with Fresh Fuel is that you don't have to do it alone. Megan is right there with you every step of the way, making the same changes you are. Fresh Fuel isn't a diet. It's a life change for those of us that just have trouble changing. Since I signed up for Fresh Fuel, I'm cooking more, eating better, and honestly, I'm feeling better too. I believe in Fresh Fuel so much that I asked Megan to offer Find the Good News listeners a chance to try it out at a discount. Just go to thefreshfuel.com, select one of Megan's signature programs, Fresh Fuel 28, the 28 Plus, or the 28 Pro plan, and then enter the code Good News to get 10% off your program. That's 10% off a Fresh Fuel signature program by visiting thefreshfuel.com and entering the code Good News. Fresh Fuel has been good news in my life, and I'm betting that thefreshfuel.com will be good news for you too. Are y'all in stores at all?
We were in Brown's Market. They haven't made an order in a while. Elite Vapors, they were selling our product.
That's cool. We're working on getting a federally approved, FDA approved stuff. So
that's
we could have that.
Going.
Yeah. So we could have that nice little label, the nutrition label.
Yeah, right.
And then what they do is, once we get it FDA approved, you can't get a patent on a sauce. So what you do is you get it FDA approved. They send it in. They do lab tests. If you come up with anything that's remotely close to what we have, they shut you down because FDA approval, it mimics ours. You tried to tap into us, and therefore you're shut down. So,
I just wondered about this. So y'all's main, or y'all people order off your website, or what's the main way y'all are getting the sauce in people's mouths?
Well, right now we're at a since we got an investor and we kind of put things on hold and
to get the food truck,
get the food truck, get the bank account open, and do all of that first, and then once that happens. It's
back on the production
it's
train.
All day, every day,
But they're going through. We get a lot of orders through Facebook, but we're getting our website back up. We got some issues with our web space and our security certificate. So once
that happens, stuff like that happens,
So we got a lot of that stuff squared away. So as soon as we get our .com back up and running, I'm pretty sure that the orders are going to be flying in. Because,
So people were able to order at one point off the site.
I was doing anywhere from 300 to 3,000 a month, at times, depending on the Flea Fest and the festivals that we do.
Y'all do go set up at different events and stuff like that?
Yeah. That's our main goal is, as soon as the company opens, we'll do a new opening, and that's that's the first thing I'm doing is booking every, whether it's Voodoo Fest or Zephyr Fest or 3-day events. But other than that, we're going to focus on parking the truck at certain areas, getting permissions. We got HR, a guy from HR has 5 plants, and sitting there and parking at the plants and selling plate lunches.
That seems to be real popular. I mean, in the food truck world, which I was kind of ignorant to until I watched again travel shows and stuff. But I mean, it seems like that's the move, is to like announce where you're going to be for on certain days, and then people just show up. They're like, oh, they're here, they're in my town, or they're near me.
And Lake Charles, they're always, well, this whole area, the whole Southwest Louisiana area, they're kind of like behind the times whenever it comes to that, because I used to live in Baton Rouge, and this was 10 years ago, and then and they had a TV show just strictly for food trucks, and then those trucks that were on that show, they would come to where we worked at in Sherwood, out in Baton Rouge, and they were everywhere, of course, Austin, and just any city that's a little bit more on the, technologically advanced side, they really kind of, there was like a big boom, but it just seems like we're really kind of catching up with a lot of these places now. So I mean, it is real popular, but I mean, this should have happened a long time ago.
Yeah, it's like we just haven't had the right network of things, or soup of things happen all at the same time. It seems like that kind of stuff is happening, but it is still like a trickle. I mean, it's only a lot of it seems like it's happening downtown. Yeah, and we've had this conversation with a lot of different people on the show, the artists, musicians, and everybody has that same sentiment. It's like, yeah, that's good, and they're glad that's happening, but at the same time, it's got to start happening in other areas of town. Well, I mean, in Crying Eagle, they have their food truck night, and they try to do a lot over there, but unless that little corridor there starts to develop more things like that, you still got to get that, I guess, that synergy, that symbiosis between all those things working together. So I don't know, it's just gonna take a little time. I don't know.
You got to take advantage of the boom around here.
Exactly. What's trending is what people can prosper from and move forward with if they are persistent with it. And we're not stopping. We're gonna get this, and we may not be the best, but we're going to do the best we can possibly do.
I think y'all are, I mean, everything I'm hearing, man, it's just like such an awesome soup of things. It's what everybody wants to try to find, is this special recipe of things that come together to make something beautiful. But y'all have got a lot of that going on. I mean, you got good recipes that are unique, for one, not just good. I mean, it's like kind of everybody says, oh, I make good gumbo, I make good gumbo, I make good gumbo. You hear that? Everybody does it a little different, and you just go, well, okay, then package it up and let's see. For sure. And you guys are actually going, somebody else could go, I make a good hot sauce. But, well, then do it. Let's see. That's kind of, y'all are in the let's show everybody stage, and you're actually taking it to that level.
Well, we'll go off and we buy hot sauce.
To see where it's at.
Yeah, right. So they got this one, we're not going to say the name of it, but there's this one, and it was $10 a bottle, and then we tried it. We had a hot sauce with the similar profile, and we
can say it was blueberry.
It was a blueberry hot sauce. So we tried it. We're like, really? It was like, this is I was like,
this is a huge company that it wins a lot of awards, and I just wanted to see. I was like, I've been wanting to try this blueberry hot sauce that they make, just to see where ours compares to theirs, and I mean, of course, I'm gonna be biased about this because it's my hot sauce, but do the taste test for yourself. I mean, when you taste, go
ahead, Jelly, toot your own.
when you taste the lemon blueberry, it's all about the flavor, the impact that it gives you, and this other blueberry hot sauce that makes their own pineapple and mango and other other stuff. And it just hands down. I mean, it just really
it's like day and night. I mean, you could just tell. You just If you had one up against the other, you would immediately, a blind taste test. You would just say, "Oh no,
that's the one."
Yeah. Jim and Jelly's is the one.
And it's $7 a bottle. You kind of wonder, am I charging too much for
Yeah, we all
crap?
like,
like who's going to pay for this when they can go get this, and that's another reason it's not really a hot sauce. It's a comfort sauce. It's a Cajun certified Cajun comfort sauce, and it's got multiple flavors. That you can do. I mean, we're ridiculous with the amount of flavors that we have, and we probably should have refrained from doing so many different flavors. But there's so many different things that we can do, and one of the things that we wanted to do was a different menu, not stick with you're only going to get a burger, a hot dog, or French fries. So we change it up. It's where we might be using peach, pear, and mango one week, and we're using Cajun Breeze and the dark cherry graveside blood sauce and the Sun Azul the next week. It's just I don't want to get bored cooking the same thing over and over, and I don't want him to get bored cooking the same thing over and over.
We don't want people getting bored eating the same thing. I mean, that's why we're not gonna. Like you said, somebody has their gumbo. We ain't gonna do gumbo because everybody else has their gumbo.
It makes sense. Well, I mean, it kind of you relaying that to the craft beer industry makes total sense. I mean, I was doing that for a little while with hot sauces.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're going to I'm going to try this one, or I'll try that one. And even if I never even finished the whole bottle, it was just to change the flavor of a food that you maybe a staple food that you were eating. And so it's kind of fun in a way. It's almost like not just about having a great hot sauce. It's also just the fun of going, I want to try this.
Mix and match them,
mix and match. That's right. Like, which Jam and Jelly hot sauces have I tried? And I have. It creates a conversation. I mean, I think that's a lot of fun, actually.
It's a good time. We think of what we want to cook one week, and that's what we've been doing for the last couple of weeks. Trying to get our menu down. And what we're gonna, are we gonna do sides like corn mac choux, baked beans, rice and gravy, and we're thinking of things that we can actually use and move around so we can change up the menu and have instead of having such a extravagant list of things to buy for produce, we can keep it simple and do one do a set thing each week and then change it up the next week. What are we going to do chicken and shrimp next week, do beef and pork,
I see.
Of course, we are going to have our staple,
some consistent items there.
Right. So I mean, and then we'll have a rotation.
It's going to be two menus. One that's our signature items like our mac and brisket wrap.
Yeah, that's man, dude. That picture, I went whole. Actually, it's funny. I think that might even be the thing that made me want to reach out to you guys, because y'all had been posting some stuff, and I was like, I told my wife, I said, this is what Jelly is doing now. I was like, I hadn't seen him so long, and kind of following along. Then y'all posted that, and I sent that picture to my family. I was like, look at this, man, this right here. Golly, dude.
And we make our own mac and cheese.
Okay.
And what we do is we incorporate hot sauce in everything that we make. Even if it's a dessert, it's going to have our hot sauce in it.
Everything is a delivery system for the hot sauce.
Okay,
so I mean, whether you know it or not,
everything on that menu's got the sauce.
And it's not necessarily going to be hot, but whether you know it or not,
it's in there.
It's in there.
That's cool.
Amber's Cake Creations in Sulphur. She's one of my best friends. She's my ex. I hate her sometimes, but anyway, no, she's great, and she puts out some of the best work I've ever seen, and she wants us to park in her parking lot over there in Sulphur. And
that's right there at the old pharmacy. A long time ago, it was like some kind of farm. They had little tiles in the floor.
Right.
Historic building.
She owns that now, and she said that she'll make us a dessert. So we can work and do that. And like our mac and cheese, we put the Cajun Breeze in that, and we also use turmeric and we use some things,
some secret ingredients.
We do it, to create our color that we, because a lot of mac and cheese, homemade, usually comes out a little whiter than normal. And as a kid, I used to, even though it tasted great, I still looked at that, and it was a negative moment of truth, when I saw it, because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like that.
Because of the
it's
color.
Not yellow like the mac and cheese out of the box.
It's true though.
Yeah. So the India, they use paprika and turmeric to color their foods, and I was like Charlie, we got to do that. And sure enough, Charlie went home and he was like, dude, the turmeric, it didn't quite do the color that I wanted, so I added some of the paprika, and of course, it came out perfect.
And the flavor was good. And
it didn't mess with the flavor, just for presentation.
Yeah.
Do y'all, when you're making your sauces, have you had that happen where you're producing a sauce? And then again, forgive me, man, I'm ignorant. I've never made a hot sauce. I don't know what goes into it, but I'm assuming that you make it, and then the color, you're tasting it, and then a color is forming. Have you ever had it you go, man, I love this, but I sure wish it was a different color?
Oh, yeah.
Well, the purple blaze. The purple blaze. We make it with a Abita purple haze, and we wanted. He was like, why don't we do a raspberry chipotle? And I was like, I always wanted to make one with the purple blaze, and he was like, let's do it. So Charlie was like, okay, let's smoke the habaneros and jalapenos in this one. So he went and smoked them, and we made the purple blaze, and
we wanted it to come out purple.
Yeah. And just couldn't get the purple.
Well, like, how do you what's some purple?
Yeah, that has the right flavor profile.
We got close. It was
it's like purple-ish.
It's definitely purplish. The lemon blueberry, it's blue too. So but the blueberries really help that. But when you're doing raspberry chipotle, and you call it purple blaze, and we don't want to use xanthan gum or food dye.
That's good, man.
Everything
all natural, baby.
All natural.
I like that, man. I was going to ask. That's why I was kind of going with that. I was wondering if there was a way that y'all had to manipulate the color, but you're just saying, hey, we're going to try to do it naturally. And if that color don't work out naturally, we're not going to add a bunch of junk in there.
Like with the panorama sauce, we which isn't quite a thing yet, but we wanted it red, and we were like, and then we thought, okay, roasted red bell pepper, and so so we used that and some other things, and came up with the panorama, and it was like I sent Charlie a picture of the red, and
he was fire engine red.
He was like, "That's it, man. That's the one." So.
And I'm happy. I know.
You're driving down the road. Everything is going just fine. You're listening to the new episode of Find the Good News in your car, and you're all stoked about trying out this zipper merge thing you've been hearing about, when all of a sudden you hear that sickening tap on your windshield that's just a little too loud. I've got some bad news for you. You've just got yourself a rock chip. Unfortunately, I've got some worse news. If you don't take care of that rock chip, it's going to turn into a crack. But I do have some good news too. You don't have to have a rock chip or a crack, because I've got a way for you to take care of it ASAP. If you go to asapglassco.com right now, you can stop that chip from winding across your windshield like the Calcasieu River. I used to be terrible about getting a rock chip, saying I'll take care of that later, and then later turns into this irritating crack that just spreads from one side of my windshield to the other. I should have taken care of it ASAP by scheduling a repair with ASAP Glass. ASAP Glass is local, right here in Sulphur, Louisiana, and they're mobile. Even better, you can get a quote right from your mobile phone at asapglassco.com. ASAP Glass is owned and operated by two of my best friends, lifelong friends, Dan and Kayla Smith. Dan the Glass Man will make sure his team of glass technicians gets to your job ASAP and make sure it's done right so you can keep that windshield crack out of sight. If you do get that rock chip and you don't take care of it ASAP, that's okay. ASAP Glass does complete windshield replacements. Remember, ASAP Glass is mobile, so you don't have to worry about finding time to drop your vehicle off at their shop. You get your quote at asapglassco.com. Make your appointment with Kayla, and then before long, an ASAP Glass van is on its way to your location. That's it. I know you're probably looking at a rock chip right now. Don't wait. Take care of it ASAP. Go to asapglassco.com on your mobile device and get a quote. That's asapglassco.com. And make sure to tell Dan and Kayla you heard about ASAP Glass on Find the Good News. What's y'all's favorite out of all? I mean, how many sauces do you have like right now that you can just think of? Like, is what, 20, 30, 50?
15, 16, something like that.
We have, we make a couple of ranches. We make, we got Bloody Mary sauce. We got barbecue sauce. We got, the ranch. And then we have, I think, 11 different,
Lost count. We lost count.
Yeah.
We don't know if that's a good thing or.
So do y'all each have a favorite that's like different? Like, do you have, or is it the same? Y'all share a favorite?
I don't have a favorite. I eat more probably blackberry, the Bayou blackberry, and the graveside blood sauce, and the cucumber.
Yeah,
the Creole cucumber.
I'm a son of Zool.
Yeah.
Because it's just it's I don't know. It's one of those. It's just different.
Yeah,
and it's also it can also be like. You notice you use
it could be either a savory or it could be a fruity type thing. Just depending on what your brain tells you at the moment or what you're eating.
Maybe what it's paired with is the flavor.
If we're doing shrimp tacos, we're probably gonna work with either the cucumber, the blackberry, the dark cherry. Of course, we did shrimp with the Son of Zool, and it was, that bacon wrap that I did, oh my God, it was just, it paired so, and a lot of people are like, dude, you put chocolate on a shrimp?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You taste it, and then you tell me that you don't like it.
Well, it's funny, man. Like, I guess other things on the thing that I think of that, and it's very common now to order things with this on it. But years ago, I ordered a steak and with blue cheese on it, and I remember it was probably 12, 13 years ago, maybe longer. And I remember ordering it, and it had blue cheese on it, crumbles, and I went, oh, man. But I ate it, and I went, oh, my God. And so then after that, I started going everywhere I went. I was like, can you put blue cheese on that? And it's just these weird little things that you don't think are going to go together. And then it becomes like your thing. Like, oh, my gosh, this flavor of this changes with this particular thing on it.
Yeah, there's people out there that, they... Oh, what, you put sugar in your spaghetti sauce?
Yeah.
Because it kind of counteracts with the acidity of the tomatoes.
I had an Italian tell me that, and she was from Buffalo, New York, and she was second generation, and she told me to put it in there, and you're not Italian, and you're telling me not to put it in there, and I think I'm gonna listen to her.
There's picky eaters out there, and hopefully we kind of change some of their their thought process.
Yeah, we were actually at Rick and Jack, sitting there having some artichoke dip, and we looked across the bar and we see somebody pull out a bottle of the Mamu Mango, and I was like, Charlie, look at that. He just broke out.
He had his own bottle of his sauce. Yeah, well, it was Jammin jelly sauce. He pulled it out of his pocket. We were like, did we just see that?
Now, how cool is that?
It is. It's pretty cool. I gotta maintain myself sometime, because I'm like,
you want to go, hey man, that's our sauce.
Well, we didn't say that. We actually said, hey, because we had like some artichoke dip, and we said, hey man,
can we get a little bit of that?
Can we borrow your sauce?
Yeah, because we didn't have
He
any
had no
on us.
idea that we make the sauce.
So he's like, sure, man, you
It's the
gotta
best sauce in the world.
You gotta try this stuff out, like, well, let us try this. So we put it on we took the Mamu mango and we put it on artichoke dip. Now, again, you wouldn't think that mango would go good with artichoke dip, but let me tell you, we had a line behind us of people coming up and devouring that artichoke.
Really?
And people turn around and order the artichoke dip so they can get some of the hot sauce and put it on.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, and then I was like, well, it just works, like it works on, and that's why I made the Cajun Breeze, because not everybody wants a mango gumbo, but then again, you find people that they do that, to each his own,
Right.
Some people, they look at the ingredients of the lemon blueberry and they're like, wait a minute, you put mustard in with blueberries? I'm like, taste it.
Yeah.
Taste it. And then they're like, man.
Sounds like fun. Like, I bet for y'all, that's the, really fun. Like what you're saying there, where you're like, give it a try. You almost want to blow people's minds, right? Because it's kind of like an experiment, because we can all get caught in the safe little, I call them ruts sometimes, that is the ruts we're used to driving in. It's don't go off this side there. I'm fine right here in these ruts.
Yeah, right.
And that kind of stuff like that, mustard and blueberry, you go, oh no, I'm not doing that. But you smash them together and it's like, whoa, it just blew my mind.
Yeah.
It frees you to some degree. I mean, I'm taking it to another level, but it kind of breaks your mind open into other things. You're going, what the hell else am I totally ignorant to that's out there that can go together,
One thing I'd like to do is, I want to get a camera and set it up in front of our selling, where we're our merch booth. That way, because we get so many different faces, that they're like, oh my, and we want to get those. We want to get those wow faces, and just have those flashing,
That would be really cool. Yeah. Do y'all get reviews from people?
Oh yeah, we have yet to get a bad review.
That's
so
good.
It's going 7-8 years strong and haven't got one bad review yet. I kind of expected a few of them, but
the internet's a mean place. I mean, you get online and people are like, oh, how nasty can I be? But I've noticed the same thing just with other customers, that people actually want to go out there and really share their good experiences with people.
It was the brisket and mac and cheese wrap. I mean, I saw some negative comments.
Yeah.
I mean, and it didn't. I don't think too much into that. But yeah, it's it's just more like, ooh, I don't like my food touching each other. I don't like my bread, So it comes from that. It's but and I can understand that. I mean,
there are picky eating is such an interesting topic in and of itself, and y'all are kind of, in a way, y'all kind of break free from that.
Yeah.
You whenever you have people that are like, I don't let my peas touch with my mac and cheese, and it's
I was that guy. I was that kid.
I have kids like that too, and I've read about it, man. Just going, where does this come from? What starts this? And I know people who are super picky, and there's things that I won't eat. I don't like I see people eat octopus and stuff like that. I ain't eating octopus. It just ain't for me, man. I just don't. I look at it and I go, it just doesn't appeal. I don't really like organs, like liver. Some people love them, but my mom loves liver, but I never could just stomach liver.
I can eat that all day long, but mushrooms is the bane of my existence. It's I just can't do it.
Well, when I cook at family stuff, and there's just a lot of picky eaters on both sides, my wife's side and mine. It's this question of, you bring a potato salad and they go, so what's in it?
Yeah.
And and I've gotten to where I just go, I'm not telling you.
Yeah.
Just taste it. And you'll see I'm picking an onion out. And I'm like, man, dude, I couldn't live like that.
Well, I was in Japan and so in Japan you go to these 7-Elevens and the best thing I've ever had in my whole entire life, it was this stuff called nikoman. It's a dumpling, a steamed dumpling. It's with pork, but the main filling in it, and I didn't realize it until after I left to come back to the States. The main filling was mushrooms.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, are you serious? I was eating mushrooms the whole time.
And you don't like mushrooms.
Oh, I don't. Yeah.
Is it a texture or taste thing?
It's a texture
thing.
It's kind of a both, but it's more of a texture thing. But
see, I'm like that, and this is the one that kills people. Is shrimp, man. I have a hard time eating shrimp, and it's because even crawfish. Like I grew up around it. Everybody ate it, but man, first time I ever ate crawfish, I was just like something about the texture of the meat. I had trouble with it. It wasn't the flavor. But now when somebody cooks it down in something, I can eat it all day long, whatever that is. But just to peel and eat them, I guess that's why I've never like grown to like crawfish balls, because I just don't like that texture of the meat, man. And then people in Louisiana, you tell them that, dude, it's fighting words, or you need to get the hell out of here. Where you from, boy?
I'm the same way with lobster. You know, like if I don't eat lobster again for the rest of my life, I'll be okay with that, because it's just way too tough for a crawfish.
Yeah. Me and my wife, we ate lobster. For me, it was the first time a couple of years ago. Same experience. I already didn't love the texture of crawfish, and so same thing. I was like, man, this just ain't for me. And I mean, but you know, I don't consider myself a picky eater. I just go, hey, you know, I just didn't like that, you know.
Yeah, my dad always taught me, if you go over to someone's house, you eat it, you know, and you don't disrespect them, you know, and you know, you might not like asparagus, but you put that in your mouth and you chew it up.
I'm gonna tell you a story.
And I'm like, yes, sir. How do you like the sauerkraut? Oh yeah, it was great, nice and warm.
My dad, he owned a video store, and he was always nice to people. Dad was, to be honest, I mean, he was just a friendly bullshitter. You know what I mean? Like if you went up to him and you go like, oh, I like XYZ, you go, oh yeah, I like that too. He was just that kind of guy sometimes with folks. And I remember it was Thanksgiving, and he kept his stores open even on the holidays, because he's like, people want to watch movies on Thanksgiving too, you know?
Yeah.
So he'd open after lunch or at lunch on Thanksgiving, and this lady came in and she said, you working on Thanksgiving, Mr. Bo? And he was like, oh yeah, I ain't had lunch yet. And she's like, well, you know what, I got plenty of leftovers. I got a big old bowl of chitlins I'm gonna bring back. Dad didn't know what he goes, oh yeah, I love chitlins. She goes, you like chitlins? And he was like, oh yeah, my mom used to make chitlins. He's lying. He don't know. He don't even know what a chitlin is. Anyway, this lady leaves and nobody says nothing. She comes back up here with a butter bowl, you know, with the lid on it, and then he pops that open, and I mean, it just didn't.
No.
I mean, it didn't smell good. It didn't look good, and you could see it on his face. And she's like, "You need to try them, you know, see if they're good as your mama's or whatever." And he's just like, "Oh my gosh!" And he's eating them, and so he knows something ain't right for him.
Yeah.
And she leaves. And he's like, that's the worst thing I ever eaten in my life. What is that? And somebody said, you don't know what chitlins are? And he's telling me it was pig intestines or chopped up pig guts. It was just that funny thing where somebody's just going, oh yeah, well, and he had that rule. He's like, well, I took it. I got to kind of eat it, you know?
Yeah, my whole thing is like, it's not the 1800s anymore. We don't got to eat like that. We don't got to eat that poor.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, dude. She was so nice though, man. Like it was just like, she was so excited that he knew what chitlins were and that he wanted some, and she had plenty left over, and I was like, man, I don't know what it is. I've never heard of that before. It makes me think of the Indiana Jones Temple of Doom.
Monkey brains.
Yeah. And there's that one scene in Temple of Doom where they go to that poor village and they have like the leaf and there's like that black sludge and bugs, and she's like, I'm not eating this. He goes, you're going to eat it. You're embarrassing me. These people, this is more than these people have eaten in a month. Eat it, you know, it's bugs.
Delicious.
Yeah. Do y'all ever like do you have any like a dream sauce, like something where it's like, you know, one of these days we're gonna do this one? Is there like one that y'all talk about, like using something that's just you don't hear of very often? Is there like something out there that's like the holy grail of sauces?
I mean, unless it's like liquid gold, I don't know. It's just,
I just wonder, because you know, it seems like people do that kind of stuff. There's like these sort of I don't know, off limits things that people haven't tried.
Actually, you know what? Probably if things go right with the 7-pot primos, you know, we like to make a capsaicin oil out of that, you know, but because you could actually go in for like $100 you could get like a vial of pure capsaicin oil, and they got hotheads that will put that on their chicken wings and get on YouTube and film themselves.
Oh,
and,
sure.
You know, the next thing you know, they're vomiting and having to go to the why do you want to do that to yourself? But
we're here to cater to everybody, even the idiots,
Well, I mean, that's what I was wondering. If y'all like want to do a gimmick. I hate to call it a gimmick sauce, but like a super hot sauce, like one of those novelty sauces.
If I had a nickel for every time someone asked,
I bet
I wouldn't. I'd have a lot of money, because everybody always comes up and asks, and choke is our hottest.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the hottest. It's got it's got the Reaper in it, so and it's basically all it is our Cajun Breeze, but we added Reaper to it.
Right.
It's just. It was just a step up, to make it, because Trace McGinnis wanted one that was tolerable, and Charlie was like, nope, I want it hot. So I was like, all right. So I at first I made a red label and a black label, the red being the hotter of the two. And once me and Charlie got together and we collaborated, and we have so many sauces, there's no need for a choke black and red. We just need a choke, because it's hotter than the Cajun Breeze, and so that's that's our hottest that we have. And people that want something that's extremely hot, we can take our choke and we can make it a lot hotter. With just a couple of drops, we can use the Reaper extract to make it, but that's custom stuff. We want to cater to the masses.
Well, that's like when I watch Hot Ones, and I still watch it. I think it's funny. To watch people try to get through those interviews, and I always like it because that first half is the fun part, because you're getting. It's not the funny part; it's just fun because they're enjoying the flavor.
Yeah.
But they always hit that one on that show, that Da Bomb.
Yeah.
And it just ruins the palate. I always go after this one. Even the next two sauces, even if they're hotter, they don't even feel it.
They
it
don't
seems
taste
like
it.
it's gone. Like whatever's in that, can't even imagine what they've done in that sauce.
And I'm a self-professed hothead, but the other day, he was pickling some habaneros and jalapenos, because we were going to use that for a dish, and my fiance came out and she was like, "Hey, try this." So I my first instinct was just to open my mouth and go, mistake. It was the hottest. It felt like it was the hottest thing that I've ever put in my mouth.
Really?
Even though that the choke, our choke hot sauce is hotter. I'm not so much of a hothead that I think I am.
It was habanero and jalapeno.
That's interesting too, because those aren't really the hottest peppers,
right? Which is even more interesting, because the habanero in 1999, that was the Guinness Book of World Records. That was the hottest pepper at the time, 1999. So from 1999 to now, that's how far we've gotten on the heat level.
Yeah, because what's it? Pepper X, isn't that
300 million Scoville?
Yeah,
it's the same guy that's breeding that, though, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. It looks like almost like it's dangerous, to be honest. Like, just to me, it just I think Chili Klaus, the guy that goes around and he's I don't know what he's got. I think he's German or something. I don't know, but I watched him eat one the other day. And it just looked like it was just a complete physical meltdown, like just sweating, and just the color of his face changed. It looked like it was miserable. And I was like, man, what in the heck?
And I'm happy, I know it. I'm helped.
Do you ever hear a good song on the radio that just moves you? Maybe it stirs your heart, but then it starts to move your body too? Do people around you say things like, "You've got rhythm," or "Where do you get your energy?" Well, I've got a secret for you. That might be your dance coming out, and the Whistle Stop Dance Sport might be just the job your dance is looking for. I know your first thought, but I don't have any dance experience. That's one of the good things about this opportunity. You don't need years of dance experience to do it. What Whistle Stop Dance Sport is searching for is a multi-dimensional talent. What does that mean? Okay, I'll tell you. You see, dance goes far beyond formal training, though that is a plus. Being able to dance means you can take life by the hand and let it put one arm around your waist and move to the rhythms that flow your way. To be a dance instructor at Whistle Stop Dance Sport, you'd need to have experience working with children, good rhythm, positive energy, and a personality for people. Dance Sport works to enrich children's lives by offering social, emotional, behavioral, and cognitive skills that naturally build confidence. Through dance, these children develop self-esteem, express themselves creatively, and strengthen critical thinking skills. Does the thought of affecting young lives in a positive way stimulate your mind, your heart? Do you want to do something that matters? Something that could really change the course of a young person's life? Then maybe that's why you heard about this dance instructor position with Whistle Stop Dance Sport. You can send your resume or letter to Whistle Stop Dance Sport, 1518 18th Street, Lake Charles, Louisiana, 70601. That's 1518 18th Street, Lake Charles, Louisiana, 70601. Training dates for this position start in July 2019, so if you feel you may be right, don't wait to send in your resume. If you'd like to hear more about this position, call Whistle Stop Dance Sport at 337-515-7577. That's 337-515-7577. And if you do call, do me a favor and let them know you heard about this on Find the Good News.
Watch, if you want to watch somebody that's got a high tolerance, watch Johnny Scoville.
Okay.
That dude, he people kind of, clown him, and like, oh my God, I can't believe you ate a Carolina Reaper. He's like, well, what would you say if I told you I ate 6 last week at one time? And I was like, oh my, and I just don't see how he does it, but he's on our list to get, we're going to get some samples to him and have him give us a review. Because tasting,
for sure,
Tasting the Heat, they gave us a review. If you go to Tasting the Heat, Jammin Jelly's hot sauce, you'll see the reviews on. We got some really good reviews in there.
That's awesome.
They're way up there, so to get their feedback and it's recorded, it's there to, you can go check it out anytime and see. We scored like 9 out of 10 on flavor on the majority of them. I think the lowest one was I got 8 out of 10 for flavor, and then
that's where I'm at. See, I like a little bit of bite, but like I'm more like I want to be flavorful.
That's what that's our mission pretty much. We do. They got, like you said, the boutique hot sauces. They got so many of those. I mean, we don't need another.
You can just have like an oversaturated market with that and not even know what to buy anymore.
Right. Yeah, and the majority of our flavors got anywhere from 6 to 8 on the heat level. So they're not kill you kind of hot sauces.
Yeah. But every single sauce has a purpose. For seafood. One for red meats. One for chicken. They're all versatile and they all have their spot in the hot sauce world.
Capsaicin works a little different with the different fruits. It might not, it might come across a little bit hotter with the the blackberry than it does with the mango. And this is things that we've discovered. They're like, oh, like, why is this one so hot? And they're like, it's the same amount. We put the same amount. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to stay with, getting our habaneros and jalapenos and reapers from the same people. That way we can maintain a Scoville level, we also like to stay organic and, eventually we're going to have our own farm to where we can produce our own.
And then you'll be able to control it like 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's good. Like our peppers. Sometimes you'll get a jalapeno and it tastes like a bell pepper. Like sometimes you get one and it lights you up. But
food is so interesting, man. I mean, peppers and just there's certain things that I think are fascinating. Peppers are one of them. Another one is tea leaves and just it's the same thing though. It's like what y'all are talking about. I mean, where it grows, where it came from, what's the conditions, and you can get the same tea from different people in different regions, and it's just so different the way I guess the climate.
Yeah, right.
That's fascinating.
Right. So that's our mission, is to basically get either a farm, that runs our produce, because it's the peaches, the pears, they're seasonal, and they may not sell much, so we're deciding whether or not we need to go seasonal with them and just have them out, a certain time of the year,
or cultivate it. Take it and then big batch freeze it, or use it. We just don't know where we really want to go with some of this stuff. But
and y'all are still like in that frontier zone right now, too. Like so the world, you got so much to explore. Really.
Yeah, and there's so much stuff that we got to learn. We don't want to step on anybody's feet. We don't want to piss anybody off.
Y'all just want to be a good, have a good time doing it too, right? I mean, it's positive.
Well, it's always usually a good time when we're making sauce, because we're working in our own kitchen, and eventually, we'll be working out of a bigger kitchen. That's our mission, is to
wild. I bet that's going to be wild.
And eventually have our own, brick and mortar, storefront, so a restaurant, Like I said, it's a natural progression of things. Just first it's going to be it was a hot sauce company, and then it was a food truck, and then it's a restaurant, and then sky's the limit.
Yeah, and your production, I'm assuming, will just shift all along the way.
Exactly.
Continue to change.
Yeah, and that's kind of why we're putting things on hold right now, is because we don't want to get overwhelmed. Because we're about to get our labels redone. Our recipes are going to be refined to a standard that we go by.
Right.
I mean, not that we already have it, but
sure, but it'll keep it just like ultra consistent to where you don't have any kind of variables that are messing something
actually
up.
I'm talking about the food, and the amount of hot sauce that we put in it. We have to refine that, because we want to be able to sell the mac and cheese to kids, and not we don't want
to be like wiping their tongues with paper.
Right, exactly. And then another thing, we plan on doing is, since we want to make everything a pepper thing, I was telling them, I was like, even the kids' burgers, we're going to get the pepper medley. It's all sweet peppers, and they're packed with vitamins and nutrients, and so we're going to blend that up to where the kids can't see it.
And, don't tell your kid.
And we're going to incorporate that into the burger. That way, even the parents are going to be able to say, oh, you know what, that's a good
cool,
burger, but refining it to where we can't have those little bitty specks of red in a kid burger, because first thing the kid's gonna say is nope, not gonna put that in my mouth. So we gotta hide it, and we want quality in our food. We might not be the cheapest. We're not out to be the cheapest. We just want to be a standard. Like our brisket. We've already done our research. We know the highest seller, and we know the lowest seller in this area, and we're gonna go right in between. We're gonna find a happy medium in between the two. That way, we're not classified as the most expensive, but we want to be the best. We're gonna be the best price and the best quality that people can get, and put Lake Charles on the map as far as Southwest Louisiana hot sauce, because we want to be those guys. We want to be what represents, we want to be the Tabasco of Southwest Louisiana.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I'm sitting here just thinking, man, that to me is, we work in tour and travel. That's a lot of what we do. And, that's become very popular now, is to want to tell the stories of people that are doing things like what y'all are doing, that are making a place a draw. So when people come to Southwest Louisiana, they go, oh, that's the birthplace of XYZ.
Yeah.
And y'all are one of those things, and they come looking for it, not just to where it's on every table, right? I mean, to where it's that kind of thing.
That's what our mission is, to be a household product, and 50% of Lake Charles is going to have our hot sauce in their fridge or on their.
And you go to a restaurant, we want our hot sauce there instead of Tabasco.
Yeah. It's funny because, man, it's a question that's been kind of stirring around in my head. Before y'all were doing this for yourselves, what was your favorite? Did you have a hot sauce that you were like, oh, I always have this in my fridge? Was there one that you liked?
Yeah. I mean, I've always been a just Louisiana brand hot sauce, because
that's my favorite.
You too?
Yeah. Louisiana hot sauce, hands down.
Me too.
I'm not a fan of Tabasco.
Me either.
It's too vinegary.
Yeah, same thing. I got the exact same feelings. Nailed it.
The jalapeno Tabasco and the chipotle Tabasco, those are pretty good. I like those a lot better than regular.
Yeah.
But as far as like hot sauce, I sriracha on my eggs. I like Louisiana hot sauce on my gumbo.
And I got into some of the Korean hot stuff like Bill Chang, and it's like a sriracha, but it's made with fermented rice, and it's beautiful. It's sweet. It's really hot. I put that on a lot of stuff, and but that's just kind of a new thing that I kind of discovered. But before Jammin Jellies, I was really kind of. The only hot sauce I knew was those types of cayenne,
the standard
thing.
Everybody had.
Cholula. I like Cholula. At times, and even still to this day, when I eat gumbo, I put Louisiana hot sauce.
Yeah, I still use it.
I'm not like, I'm jelly. I'm jelly. I use Jammin Jelly.
Only use this in our house.
Right. That's interesting because when I was a kid, we didn't use a lot of hot sauce, but most of the time it was Tabasco. I remember my dad liking it, and that was what we had in the house. And I guess I was switching to a brand away from what your family used is kind of a weird thing when you first start shopping for yourself as an adult, right? I don't know, but for me that was my experience. It's like, well, maybe I should try another brand, and it's like back then there wasn't really as much stuff. Until you had Tabasco and Louisiana hot sauce, and maybe a few others. I never really even tried Cholula until recently, believe it or not. But Louisiana hot sauce, I liked it because it was a little. I tend to like saltier things. It was a little more salty, less tangy, vinegary, and I don't know. I just was like after that, that was kind of
sriracha. That's everywhere. Everybody has Tabasco. You want to know something? Tabasco. They make the best sriracha. Their sriracha is better than the they're really food sriracha, and they have fermented that fermented pepper thing down. It's like it's every time I try to get sriracha, I go for the Tabasco.
I'm going to try it. I've never had it. I've only had the just sriracha brand with the rooster on it.
The rooster sauce or whatever they call it.
We're gonna make our own sriracha as well. Really? Charlie knows how to do it, and
cool.
So because right now, I don't use to make a ranch. I don't use sriracha in. I make my own ranch. We make our own ranch. I'm sorry, and we use the garlic chili that they use to make sriracha with. That's what I use.
I see.
And so we're going to make our own garlic chili, sriracha mix. That's where, our ranch might change a little bit, but it's not going to change much.
Not overall. It'll still be a similar flavor profile.
We're just trying to minimize, the food cost.
Or any outside influence we want to kind of make sure that everything is made by us, with our hands.
We use ketchup to make our barbecue sauce. We don't go make our own ketchup. We buy ketchup to make our barbecue sauce, It's a lot easier now once we're making big money, then we could actually venture off and make our own ketchup as well if we see fit, to do such a thing.
Sometimes you can get off into that stuff and be like, okay,
is it really cost effective? It's
like you want to cut out as many steps as possible.
Well, that's like when I see products, and I'm kind of funny. I'm gearing more towards this as I get older. I find that I want things to just be solid and stable, man. I don't like getting off into things that I don't like gimmicky stuff. And when I see like those mayonnaise ketchup mixes, just something as simple as that, I go, why would you even buy this?
Just make it,
man.
you got ketchup you got mayonnaise.
Just mix it. That's how.
I went to my friend, and he's from Louisiana. Went to my friend, visit him in Nashville, and lo and behold, he knows how to cook, mind you. He had that in his fridge, so. People buy that.
Yeah, it's like a gimmicky thing. It's back when they had colored ketchup, like purple and all that stuff. I was like, this is just I mean, how jacked up is that anyway? When you think about it, that kind of sensibility is the complete opposite of the direction you guys are going. Yeah. I mean, what did they have to put in that ketchup to make it purple?
Right.
You know, and you guys took a totally different approach with your purple.
What the hell? What the hell is Yellow number 5?
Well, that's interesting. What did I watch the other day? And it blew my mind. They were talking about there was a certain artificial flavor designation, and it's some kind of pouch out of a beaver or something that they use to make the flavors and something like that. And I was like, I wonder if raspberry flavor. That was what it was. And we're like, well, if you're eating this and it's raspberry flavor, this is coming out of this animal, and it's like the juice from something crazy. And I was like, dude, we're just all squirting the stuff in our drinks, you know, and not
secretions.
I was like, man, that's so messed up. Yeah, but we don't know, man. I mean, we're just like, and you get two guys like you that are taking that extra step. You're going, I mean, y'all could have made that sauce purple.
Yeah.
You could have figured out and dumped all kinds of stuff in there and figured it out. But,
well, the owner of Louisiana Hot Sauce Expo, Dana Romero, he was at Flea Fest one year, and he had a big selection of all these hot sauces, and then unfortunately we got stuck in a horse booth, and I was like, I didn't understand selling.
Your location.
You're selling food out of a horse stall, so
there's something inherently wrong with that.
But anyway, I went over, and people were going over and telling Dana Romero, they're like, oh my God, you got to go try that hot sauce. So he came over and he was like, he started talking to me, and he was like, I'm Dana Romero for Louisiana Hot Sauce Expo. I own it. And he's like, how do you get your hot sauce to stop separating? He goes, what do you do to do that? Xanthan gum? And I was like, oh no sir. I was like, I used a tubulin method. And he was like, what? I was like, I use a Big Ninja and I use a Smoothie Ninja. I puree it, to the right consistency, and then I reduce it, and to the, and I do a silver spoon test to see the veins coming off. It was my own. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. You were just
trying to create,
I wanted to be consistent with what I did, and I didn't, I just figured it out on my own, and it turned out to be Jammin Jelly's Hot Sauce.
Wow, man.
LLC. So it just, lucked out, and, I got fortunate enough to come across Charlie, and Charlie has blown this out of the water as far as the business goes, and where we can take it and what we're going to do, and we got our goals. So
it's exciting, man.
Yeah,
this is exciting. I'm excited for y'all. So like if somebody listens to this, I mean, right now, I know y'all said you get the website stuff going on, and y'all are kind of focused on the truck right now. But if somebody goes, hey, I got to get some Jammin Jelly sauce, what do they do right now? Is it just sort of on hold until?
No. Hit us up through Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook on our Facebook page. You just send us a message and let us know if you're local, and you want 3 or more bottles, we'll deliver it. Oh, wow. Right now, we're, we have a lot of stuff that isn't labeled, because we're going through relabeling process. The label is going to be a little different, better quality, and so right now,
you're in like that Bardo right now. It's like the between two worlds. I get it.
As much as I would love for someone to call and say, hey, I want 6 cases of your choke hot sauce right now, I'd love to do that, and we have it in stock, but the hurricane has kind of set us back far as getting our food truck, and we'll probably next week should be our week that you're gonna find on our Facebook page where we're at, and you're gonna get free samples. We're gonna be putting out a soft opening, and then pushing forward from there.
Awesome.
And I'm happy I know it.
This episode's Fishing for Goodies Fishbowl sponsor is Brimstone Museum and Henning Cultural Center in Sulphur, Louisiana. I don't know what you look for when you travel, but one of the things I look for when I'm putting together my itinerary is a unique museum or gallery in the city I'm traveling to. I do this almost every time I go to a new city, but if I'm being honest, I'm guilty of not always doing that very thing right here at home in Sulphur, Louisiana. That's really a shame, because we have one of the most interesting, historically relevant, and culturally rich corners in any city in the country about 2 minutes from where I'm sitting right now. I'm talking about the Brimstone Museum and Henning Cultural Center. Have you ever really thought about why our city is named Sulphur? They've got a permanent exhibit on the history of the sulfur industry that answers that simple question and more. You really get a full scope of just how important the sulfur mining industry was to the development of Southwest Louisiana and the impact it had on the rest of the world. Yes, the rest of the world. On the same property, right next door to the museum, is the Henning Cultural Center, presenting some of the most interesting, modern, and culturally relevant local art shows I've ever seen. My dear friend Tom Trahan and the Brimstone Historical Society have really worked hard to give us this treasure, and it's a multifaceted jewel that I plan to take advantage of more often. You don't have to wonder what their hours are, or how to get there, or what shows are coming up. Just go to brimstonemuseum.org like I did, and subscribe to their mailing list right there on the homepage. That's brimstonemuseum.org. Tom will make sure you start getting the announcements for each and every new show at the gallery. But you don't have to wait for the mail to arrive to enjoy this historical local treasure. You don't have to be guilty, like me, of overlooking a local wonder that conveniently sits next to the Grove, one of the most beautiful walking parks in Southwest Louisiana. Drop in and say hi to Tom for me. Tour the museum and center, and make sure to tell Tom that you heard about Brimstone Museum on Find the Good News. Now, let's take that dive in the fishbowl. So you guys, when you walked in, I asked you if you'd ever listened to the show, and y'all said no. So you don't know about this fishbowl right here.
I've been eyeballing it the whole time.
All right. So this is where we do at the end of the show. You know, this show is all about like getting into people's minds and like what makes them tick. A lot of people like to know that about the people who come on here. A lot of the show, most of it is me asking questions, but this is the part where I got to give it up to the fishbowl. So in the fishbowl, there are questions that have been submitted by listeners over time, and then there's all kinds of other stuff in there too. And so we ask when we do two people, we just each one of you take turns drawing up to three, and then we'll just do 1, 2, 3, and then y'all will talk about whatever the question. Okay. So we don't know what it is. Could be anything. All right. Charlie's going first.
So I just reach in and
there you go.
So you're asking me this?
Well, y'all, we're gonna all talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What don't you have enough time to do? and why?
That's a relevant question.
Is this for Charlie?
I don't want to answer that.
Okay. All right. What I don't have enough time to do is I don't have enough time to spend with my family. Because of the fact that this is a very demanding process. It's also a spur of the moment. I could be sitting here and my phone can ring and I can get an order and I have to go deliver it, and I don't have enough time to put towards my family, and it's because I make
and they're our family, like we kind of consider like his family is my family. Yeah. It's like because we're hanging out every day, and they are his wife and my fiance and my daughter and his daughter. They're kind of slowly getting absorbed into all this, because they're going to take over. Our kids. We're going to eventually take over the business one day, so they're already kind of getting prepped. But that there's a family's real big to us,
Sure.
you know, and and sometimes, you know, whenever you're kind of on a roll with your business, you know, you just kind of wish you could take a step back and just like, okay, look, let's just we don't want to talk about, you know, food. I don't want to talk about hot sauce. I just want to sit in it, you know, watch a movie with you guys, and, you know, so
and then there's times where, you know, like you go and, you know, like I would love for my daughters to be here right now just to see this kind of environment, you know, and it's just, you can't do that,
right?
You know?
No, I understand. You guys are, I mean, and that's really touching, honestly, because it's just making me think that so often in the world, that from a consumer point of view, we all move so fast that, you know, it's easy to get a little bit ungrateful. You know, the sacrifices that are made to provide us with these wonderful things that we get to go enjoy, you know, like a nice hot sauce. I mean, it's very easy to just go, give me that sauce, go pour it on something, eat your food and move on. Hearing y'all say that, it's like, but we have families, you know, and we have people we care about, and we have to sacrifice that time to put some of that love into this so you can have that great product. That takes a little, as a cook from the consumer side, you have to slow your mind down and your heart down a little bit and look, take a minute.
I know, because whenever I'm eating, you know, a certain thing, I certainly don't think of that, you know. I just kind of take for granted that,
we all
you know,
do,
just
that's hard to be mindful, man. I mean, because the world's so fast, dude. I mean, it's like go, succeed, try, push, and you do have to, because there's a lot of things out there, but
blink and then you're gonna miss something.
That's right.
So it's my turn.
Your turn. That's a good question, though. Very, very relevant.
If you could only have 5 apps on your phone, what would they be?
Only 5.
Okay. Google Maps. Yeah. Because I get lost very easy, and even though I grew up around here, I mean, there's a lot of places I haven't been. Google Translate. Because, you know, you go to other countries, that really kind of helps out. And
does that work really well? I've never used it.
Yes and no. For instance, you know, I speak a little Japanese, and it's a really finicky language to learn. And then you know, Google Maps, it really kind of I would put, I mean, Google will translate, I would put something in there, and I would get a lot of really sour looks, you know, because you know, like I was being really rude about something and I didn't realize it, you know. And then I would have my friend Tetsuo was like, no, you got to say it this way.
Oh wow. So little subtleties of the language, the dialect. That's interesting.
So that's 2. Let's see, Minecraft Pocket Edition, because I'm a big Minecraft fan. I gotta have my Minecraft. All recipes, because it means always good to have a recipe book.
Yeah.
Let's see, and I'm at a loss for the last
All recipes covers a lot, though. I'd never heard anybody say that. See, that tells you what you do right there. I mean, it's like, oh, this is a staple. You know, I don't have all recipes on my phone.
I never use it. I never use it to get a recipe. I use it to, like, what do I want to cook tonight?
Oh, so to get an idea.
Yeah, just to get an idea. So
stimulate some stuff.
I think Facebook is mandatory, because the fact that I don't use it for my political views, my religious views. I use it strictly for the hot sauce company showing my food. If you go and look at, you know, you might see a couple things, you know, but a lot of the business that we do, we use Facebook. And I have to check my Facebook, because if you don't respond to somebody, it looks bad, because it takes 3 hours or 2 days for a response, and, you know,
and you try to shake that social media thing away, you know, and so people are really bad with some of that, but you know, and you try to shake loose of that, but it just really kind of draws you back in.
Oh, sure, and no doubt.
But we use it more for our business, you know. Whenever I post something, it's really something just so silly that I don't.
You really have to be a personal friend to understand.
You know, I mean, I think that's kind of, I had gotten off for a lot of years, and when I got back on, I was like, well, this time when I get back in and start stepping back in, I'm gonna basically create, like y'all said, like silos for, if I'm interested in something, I'll go make a page for that.
Yeah,
And then I can speak in that voice on that topic for that. And then on my personal, it can just be whatever. It can be more like who I really am versus this one particular hardcore interest I have.
Right.
You know? And that's made it a lot better for me to have those containers like that, because
then you start getting into, you know, like, well, if you do it on Facebook, you're only reaching 1% of your audience. If you do it on Instagram, then you could potentially reach 40% of it. You know, there's all these little quirky things with social media.
Yeah.
And so, if you're good with that, I mean, there's a whole lot of power that you could wield in social media. You know?
And it definitely, like I said, I mean, it is the best way to communicate with an audience. I mean, especially like this show, I've found that it's been really valuable in communicating with people and kind of keeping the information moving. It's how people find out I got a new episode out. I get, you know, and I get that. I mean, you do have to engage. I mean, you can't just make a post and walk away. It's personal. I prefer it to be that way. I don't like it when it's just sterile and you're just posting stuff and there's no interaction with people. It's nice to get reactions.
Yeah, well, if you watch the movie Chef, it's about the food.
I'll have to check it out.
Oh my
God,
a great movie. It is so good. I mean, like, it has something to do with food trucks, and the way he actually made his food truck popular is through social media. He didn't know that once he tweeted something bad, you know, that it went across to everybody. And then all of a sudden the food critics, and he just got riddled. And so he went and he bought a food truck and he did his own thing, and he went down to New Orleans, and next thing you know, he said, I'm getting my coffee and beignets for my son, and he comes back and there's a line lined up outside of his food truck because they knew where he was and he had made himself famous.
So he had that discovery. Oh man.
And then so that's our mission.
That's wild, man. There is a lot of power in that. I mean, social media, if you use it right, I mean, you can accomplish a lot.
Yeah. All right, let's see. One more?
Yeah. This is a Would You Rather card. These are fun.
Okay. Would you rather run a small country with a handful of issues or run a big country with lots of issues?
There you go. You're the leader of the free world.
Okay. No,
small country with what? A small country with a few issues?
With a handful of issues.
Okay.
Or a big country with lots of issues.
Oh, man.
I mean,
it's kind of loaded.
Yeah, it's not good either way.
I think I'm going to take the small grenade. And, I'd rather jump on a small grenade and do less damage than jump in a big country with lots of issues.
Yeah, it seems like it doesn't make any sense. Who wants to take on the big? I mean, maybe there are people who want to. They look at things and go, "I'll take that. I like the problems. I like the deal." But I think the small things.
Well, I like the game plan. I like to hit things strategically and just game plan it and minimize
watching things grow. I like from everything. All big things started from tiny things. I like to see progression. I like and so you can always look back and hey, you got this small thing and it was this big. It was like microns, where and then you can look back 10 years back and it was like, that's how small, and look how big I am now. There's a sense of pride. So I would probably go with the small country. I mean,
you could probably, it seems like you could affect more focused change that way, right? I mean, you can actually see the fruits of your labor. A big country, it seems like it's like trying, what do they say? It's like trying to turn a battleship or something, and that's what that would be like. You just can't.
We're a small company. We want to cater to everybody south of I-10 right now, and we want to become Louisiana hot sauce before we venture out to all the other states. We want to become a name. So you take small steps and you solidify them. Right. You get them done and you do them in the right manner, and you delegate yourself in the proper manner, and you get the things that you want because of the steps you take, and instead of going, okay, I want $1 million, and I want to distribute all over and find out, which areas fail with, Cajun products. No, we're gonna stay small. We're gonna take care of our hometown, our locals, and build from there, and then we can expand and be something bigger.
Definitely not trying to be zero to hero over here,
Right. Yeah. So it's a small town with. Yeah. We're a small company with a lot of issues that we're dealing with right now, and we're taking them one at a time.
Well, that was a good way to tie that question. It's tied right into your reality.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to. I'm like, like what part of the country am I? And
right.
How big of an issue is it?
Well, I was talking about that with a relative over the weekend, and we were having it was kind of a political conversation, and I don't really always like those conversations, and but I was involved in it, so I listened, and ultimately, like, the answer I came up with was the truth. I mean, it's something I really feel. I said, you have to decide how much you can affect. If you feel like you have the skills and the tools, the resources and the capacity to affect things on a national scale, then go do that. But not everybody has that capacity. So you got to figure out what capacity you actually have to affect anything. Yeah. And if your capacity is your community, great. Some people, their capacity doesn't extend beyond the door of their home. But if that's your capacity, do the best you can inside the doors of your home.
Yeah.
Right.
Affect your children, affects change in there. And then they will learn their capacity, and maybe they'll go out and affect change at a different level than you. But you can't, if you try to take on things beyond your means and your capacity, you're not going to affect anything. You're just going to destroy yourself.
Right. Yeah.
And I think what y'all are doing, it sounds like, is coming at it the right way, through the funnel the proper way.
Right.
We know our scope right now. Yeah. We know not to go beyond here for right now, because it's just the three things that are the food truck, and then the hot sauce, and then doing the stuff for the bands and the record labels. That's a lot of stuff. I mean, even though it's three things,
two guys.
It's like, okay, well, how do we tie this together in the most efficient manner?
Sure.
But we're getting better at it, and we've learned a lot along the way, and it's only going to get better. So I mean, as long as we don't, this ship isn't sinking anytime soon. So we're looking beyond right now, and but in small steps, we'll get there.
I'm excited for you guys, man. I'm actually excited to have gotten the chance to talk to y'all and to hear all of this, and I hope people who listen to it, whenever the fruits start coming out, and start seeing the flowers blossom off of this project, that they're going to go, oh man, I know the story about this, and I mean, it makes you enjoy something more sometimes. I find when you know where it came from.
Right. It's exciting. We just taking one step at a time, and
it's almost like, we're so excited about it that we kind of like look at it as like going to Disneyland. It's like we can't wait for this to happen, because it just seems like it's it's fun. It's fun for us, and if you take the fun out of anything, you're just gonna,
I hear you. Even with what we do, guilty as charged. I mean, you do things to some things to survive. Some things are fun, and sometimes it gets weighted in the survival side of things a little heavier, and that's not always super fun. It's not always filled with joy, but you hope that you're working towards keeping things balanced. I think. Yeah, thank y'all so much for taking the time, man, to come out.
We appreciate it.
This has been a lot of fun, man. I'm actually really excited for y'all. I get so many different folks that I talk to, and they're in different categories, and y'all are the first ones that have come in that are in the food category.
Oh, right on.
And I think it was just a wonderful, I don't know, man, just a good talk. Just a good time. I feel good,
This is things that need to be said, and a lot of people need to hear it, know what our mission is and where we come from, what we do. It's a lot of tedious work, and a lot of times it doesn't pay off, but persistence, staying with it, that's the only way we're going to succeed is if we are persistent and dedicated to what we do.
Yeah.
And our love, our passion it's big. So.
Yeah, I think that's motivating for people out there. There's going to be people who listen to this that have dreams and ideas, that they maybe haven't taken that next step on. And just hearing that, I mean, no matter, even if it's not the same thing, just knowing that it's to see what y'all are doing, it motivates people. They're going, hey, I've got something I just have had that I should try.
Yeah.
That I'm passionate about.
I get random phone calls, and it's people that they've never eaten a hot sauce, but they want to make a hot sauce, and they're asking what steps they take. And I'm like, I mean, wait a minute, I'm not the school of hot sauce, it's weird, to get random. I never talked to this lady before in my life, and she was like, yeah, so, like, how long do I boil? I'm like, wow, I could just suggest something, but
there's no cookie cutter one recipe way to do it.
I lucked out, lady.
A lot of like that. Yeah, it's hard to share sometimes when you get into something. It's hard to translate that over to people. Even you're a designer. Like even designers, they all come in all shapes and sizes, and somebody may go do something looks really great and they're done in an hour and a half, and somebody else they agonize on for days and days, and you go, how do you tell somebody, the person who did it in an hour, to somebody else? How do you pass that along? You don't know. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's got a bit time. I think a lot of that's time and just experience. It just comes, so. Yeah, this has been fun, and I think people got a good picture of how to find you guys and be on the lookout.
We're on the cusp right now.
Yeah, next week we should be able to make some moves next week and let people know where we're at.
This will come out, actually, this episode will probably come out in August. Okay. So it might be, y'all probably already rocking and rolling, and y'all can share it far and wide and get the story out there, man.
That sounds good, man.
Yeah.
And I love you just as well.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Find the Good News. If you would like to advertise on this show or sponsor an episode, just visit findthegood.news. Send me a message and we'll see about getting your business, organization, service, product, or event on the show. I deeply thank each of you again for supporting this podcast.